Alright guys, what's up? I'm back with another story video. And today I wanted to it's another about another class. And I think this is the first time I've done multiple videos on classes in one semester before. And this one I had no idea was gonna be on my radar as of like a month ago, 2 months ago, and here we are. So get ready. This is how you don't handle a final exam from my finance professor. Yes, this was a finance class. You may be wondering why I'm in a finance class. God only knows why it's required for what I'm doing, but I don't know. I don't know. Not gonna be dropping the professor's name or anything again because even though this guy is a fucking idiot, do not send hate or anything because I guarantee. Because if you look on if you look on some of the feedback, he's probably gotten enough of that, and will continue to till he retires. But this is also not about the class in general. Personally, the class, while it was really hard, like this class kicked my ass. It was one of the harder classes I'd taken, and everything. But it wasn't necessarily different from a lot of other classes that I'd taken, math related or not math related or anything like that. It wasn't anything super crazy difficult. It was crazy difficult, but not like as crazy, like super out there as far as like structure or anything. And personally, for the most part, I thought the professor was fine. Like, yeah, you just had to watch some videos every couple of weeks and then do an assignment, and the assignments were pretty tough, but everything was fine. And then you had to take the exams, and the exams were pretty dumb, but it's an exam, and you gotta do it and whatnot. It was pretty straightforward. The real bullshit picks up right around after the second exam. There were three exams: first exam, second exam, and then a comprehensive final exam, which I just finished taking at the time of recording this video, but it's going to go up a little bit later than that. After my grades already been in and finalized and God knows what. So, um, yeah, I mean, this takes place after the second exam. And this was right when I was starting to turn things around in the class. I got off to a really rough start, but the last couple of assignments, there were 5 of them, course of the semester. The first 2 I did pretty bad on, really bad on, in fact. But the second 2 I did really well on. I aced them. In fact, I got an extra credit on one of them. I don't know how the fuck that happened. There was no extra credit. I just got an extra 5%. Thank you. That was awesome. I love that. But regardless of that, I was starting to turn things around. And I thought, okay, we're gonna finish off on a high note. And then we took the second exam. It would take place. The second exam took place on Tuesday. And, the week goes by, and I'm expecting to see results by the end of the week. They don't come. And then Monday, I was like, okay, what the fuck? Where's my exam results? I want to know how I did. And we get an email from the professor that says that they won't be released for a little while longer because he's investigating an incident due to abnormally high scores and some people acing the exam in under 6 minutes. Huh? This was a 30-question exam, by the way. And so I was like, what the fuck? How did people ace this in under 6 minutes? It took me over a half hour to complete it. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was trying to draw a conclusion because it's an open note exam, and you can do whatever you need to do with this exam, right? And so I was like, how'd you ace this? The only explanation that I could draw up at the time was that somebody shared answers. Because he has a thing where you can, if you need to, you could take the exam early and whatnot if you need those types of accommodations. So I thought somebody took the exam early and then shared answers with the rest of the class. That's what I thought it was. Turns out, no. That was not what it was. He somehow was able to figure out that people used AI. Okay? Yeah, it's possible people could have used AI. I mean, yeah, it's really possible, actually, in this day and age, that people used AI. I personally used special calculators that I could find online and stuff, as well as like the videos, but not really the videos because it's only you only have like an hour and a half to take it, so you don't have a long time to like to watch a bunch of fucking videos. And it's doing that kind of thing. But it's possible that people could like copy and paste stuff in the chat GPT and do whatnot. I don't know. I've never found that to be super reliable or anything like that, but apparently some people did. But how do you do that under 6 minutes? I was like, it's really fast. It's too fast even. That 30 questions, it's less than 6 minutes. That's less than like 10. That's like 10 seconds per question almost. What the fuck? How do you do it so fast? Somehow, and it's really like, here's the thing that annoys me. It comes up with like, he was kind of spewing some bullshit there. Like, obviously, there's a very high likely percentage of chance that these people did use AI. But there's no way on a multiple choice exam. Either you click a button to select an answer, or you type in a number. That is it. So how the fuck are you able to accurately determine or not if people used AI? I don't know. I would think somebody shared answers or people worked together on it and, they copied notes or whatever during the exam. I don't know anybody in this class. It was an asynchronous class. I don't know who the fuck was in it. I was in my house taking the fucking exam. I didn't care. I'm just trying to fucking get through this and move on with my day. You know what I mean? So the time goes by and I'm like, God damn it. So he says he's got to make a ton of revisions and whatnot. He was launching an investigation. Thankfully, I wasn't wrongfully flagged for cheating. I didn't even do that good on the exam. I did better on the second exam than I did the first exam, but not like, still wasn't like a great score. So like, probably had no grounds to really flag me there, even though I didn't cheat anyway. So I could have just fought it back. But that would have been a ton of legal shit that I did not want to deal with. Did not want to do anything with that. Thankfully, didn't have to. Once he said it was complete, he said the investigation was complete. Then he went on about talking about, what's he going to do as far as changing stuff up. And our last set of assignments got delayed, so we had less time to work on them. And it was also the largest module of the entire semester, so that was great. Great timing there. And he's going to have to change the final exam, and he was going to debate putting the final exam on a lockdown browser and whatnot. And I fucking hated lockdown browser. I had a couple classes freshman year that used lockdown browser. It was absolutely stupid. I hated it. And I was really hoping that we wouldn't have to use lockdown browser this time around. But I was wholeheartedly expecting him to. Because there were legitimate reasons to do an investigation here. And a lot of people probably got big flags for it, or they got academic dishonesty and had to go through all this other stuff. So it was a totally warranted investigation. That's not what I'm really complaining about here. I'm complaining about how he handled it. Number one, he has no clue what he's doing. Let's be real here. The minute he saw something wrong, he immediately went and cried to the academic offices and had them do the investigation for him instead of maybe going through and maybe doing a little bit of the stuff himself. Like, he's not that old, right? Like, I've watched his videos. He's not that old. I'd say 50s, maybe late 50s. I don't know. I would say earlier 50s, to be honest. He doesn't seem that old. Like, you could at least narrow it down to some people that you would suspect and then have them help you launch a further investigation on those people instead of just throwing everything right in their face and say, here, do this for me. I need this done fast. I don't know. I'm not a professor, so I don't know how that would be. But then, get ready for this. So when it's all said and done, he finally launches everything. And he's like, so he talks about how the final exam is going to work. And he's like, so the final exam will still be open note. What the fuck? You're telling me you spent, this was at this point, multiple weeks, several weeks of people doing this investigation and delaying and throwing all these threats at us for something Oh, for it just to be open note again anyways? What the fuck? What message does that send to not just the current students in the class, including me, alumni who may have taken the class beforehand, and future students who might take this class, either in college now or ready to go to college, getting ready to go to college? What message does that send to them? Oh, we can cheat and no repercussions will come from it as long as we don't get caught? What the fuck? Again, I was okay with it still being open note. But you have to send some fucking message. You have to send a message. You can't just say all this bullshit and then have it not even matter. And it was just a complete butchering of the investigation. And it did not make any sense. How stupid are you? Should have expected this, though, from a guy who, with his lecture videos, the runtime for him is inflated by like 10 minutes per video because part of it is him struggling how to fucking open Excel or turn the video off. So, if time goes by and get the last assignments done, I'm just trying to push forward, getting ready for this end of this fucking class. And then he drops that the exam, while still open note, will be proctored in order to prevent AI and prevent people from sharing answers. And I thought, oh, it's going to be lockdown browser. But he said it couldn't be lockdown browser. Okay. Cool. Alright. Instead, we had to use a different lockdown browser called Proctoro.io or Proctoro. I don't remember what the fuck it's called. Yeah, we had to use that instead. Let me tell you about this site, alright? I thought lockdown browser was bad, but this site's completely unfunctional. So I try and go and install this thing, right? Because he said there's going to be a practice exam and we could get extra credit for doing it, and we'll be able to test and see if it worked. Like, fuck yeah, I want the extra credit. I also wanted to see how this works. I never used this one before. So I go down to install it on my school account, and it says my access is restricted. Like, what the fuck? I'm on my school account. I need this to do my exam. So I emailed the professor. It's like, hey, it's not, it says my access is restricted. Is there something else I need to do? Blah, 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 blah. Send it over. He responds in a reasonable amount of time and says, this is why you have to get this done now. Call their customer service line to get this taken care of. It was the most corporate statement ever. Like, most automated corporate response. It's like, this is why that we need to do this right now. Please call our customer service line for more information. You want further proof that this motherfucker got paid to use an external site for all the workbooks and stuff? Probably, 1, he's too technically inept to do it himself, and 2, he likes money. I guess who doesn't like money? He else speaks like a dick. So now I have to call the customer service line to get this figured out. So I hit him up. Let's listen to this call, alright? So I call him, and this lady, bless her soul, she did her best. Like, she really did try. I have to commend her. She was calm, collective. Problem was, she barely spoke any English. She had a very heavy accent. She didn't speak a lot of English. And she also spoke very quietly, which made it very hard for me to understand her. And she also didn't understand English that well, which made it hard for her to understand me. Which just, we worked around it. It was fine, but it was just... Especially when I selected English as my language. To me, it's like felt like that they had only one person there, like the one person that answers the customer service calls, and they're just they have mild levels of fluency in each of the languages that you can select, and she'll just talk in that language when you pick up the phone, like based on which one you select. Not somebody else will pick up with that language type thing. Probably to save a couple bucks, but you know what? That's just a theory, a Pringle theory. I'm sitting here trying to give her all my freaking information and whatnot in order to get it figured out. And, again, bless her heart, she did a good job. She did what she needed to do. Really, she was really a really nice person and whatnot. So I commend her on that. The reasoning, though, for why it didn't work is she said to use my school account, as not to use my school account, to use my personal account. Okay, didn't even know the site would work on my personal email. Lo and behold, it did, and the proctoring system was able to be downloaded. This feels like something the professor should have known before announcing that he was going to use this. Seems like a pretty common, if not the most common problem that could have pertained with this. Right? I would think so. Guess not. And then he's like, then a few days later, he sends out, first let me talk about the proctoring system itself. It was pointless. All it did was turn on your camera, so you couldn't talk to anybody, you couldn't really look in any other direction, couldn't really do anything. You couldn't look at your phone and whatnot. But it didn't monitor what other browsers you went on. You could open another tab. All it did was turn on your camera, like I said. It eliminated the ability to right-click, which you couldn't copy and paste stuff, which is fine. That was part of the lockdown system, but you could still just manually type stuff into browsers. You could go on to pretty much any site that wasn't a generative AI site. Don't know how they got that working when Google Chrome uses generative AI. Awesome. Okay. And it doesn't block shit. It was horribly unreliable. It was a massive pain in the ass to try and even get to work. For what? For nothing. What it was, for nothing. And then he sends out, so a few days after that, he sends out a Q&A form, not a Q&A form, an FAQ form about stuff to do for the exam. And it just further showed how lazy he is. All he did was download this Word document from somebody else's page and post it as his own on the site. That was it. You know how I could tell? Because there was a ton of stuff on there that didn't apply to our class at all. Really? Really? It was the most unhelpful FAQ sheet because 98% of it didn't even apply to us. And you had to really dig through and try and piece together the 2% that did. Maybe it was a good thing then that I had to call their customer support line because they actually give me the problem. Instead of just posting a piece of paper to cover his own ass. So he wasn't have to do shit. Piss me off. Whatever, right? I didn't even care. I was getting pretty worried because I fucking bombed the last assignment right before the exam. And I thought I was going to fail the class, but then I found out I had enough points as it stood that I had already passed no matter what I got on the final exam. So, it's great. Guess it didn't really matter. Just went into the final exam. did the best I could, and got the hell out of there. So I guess it was fine at the end of the day, but I'm still going to get credit, though it's probably going to be the worst grade that I've ever gotten in a college class by far. Though I would say it's maybe third hardest class I've ever taken. There's two for sure that are definitely harder that I've taken. This is probably third, maybe not even top three, maybe four. But it's going to look the worst because he has so many points attached to it. But at the end of the day, I'd pass the class. And that's all that matters, really. God damn it. What an idiot. For anybody out there who's a professor or is like going to be a teacher, is a teacher or anything, take my word for it. When there's a look into cheating, when there's suspected very well much evidence towards cheating as well, and you're trying to send a message, don't make the next exam open note. I swear to God, it would have made more sense if he had, even though this was an asynchronous class, like I said, brought everybody in for an in-person final, and he just walked around the room while you did the exam, so he could make sure that nobody was talking to each other or whatnot. That would have made more sense than whatever the fuck he actually decided to do. You know, looking after his Rate My Professors stuff doesn't seem too out of character for him. And you know what? Maybe I will leave a Rate My Professor on there too. We'll see. But anyways, yeah. That's exactly how you don't botch, or you do botch, a cheating investigation and lose all credibility from your students. I have one more semester college left, and I hope to God when May rolls around next year, I don't have to make another one of these videos. I would rather sacrifice a video for keeping my sanity for longer than a couple of weeks in a semester's time, because it just, the incompetency and the stupidity and the laziness, it's too much. That's it for this video, guys, though. What are your thoughts on how this whole situation went down? And, yeah, what are other crazy class things that you guys have had? I'd love to know in the comment section down below. But that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for other much more amazing content. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.